I have that. Hi guys, Raf here. Today I'm going to show you how to make a salted caramel Swiss roll. This is something that I've been craving for a bit. I've done this many times a couple of months ago, but it has been so long since I made it. So today is the day that I'm going to show you so I can share the deliciousness with you at home. So for this cake, we're going to use a standard Swiss roll tin, which I think is 10.6 by 15 inches. I got mine from Nordic Ware, but I know that there's a lot of brands offering the same kind of size. We're going to prepare our tins using parchment paper. So we're going to start by making a meringue. I have 180 grams of egg whites in this bowl, and I also have 60 grams of sugar just beside. So I'm happy with that. We don't need to push it so much far. And I'm going to set this aside and get another bowl which is heat proof. So I have in here 135 grams of egg yolk, and I'm going to add 45 grams of sugar. I'm going to whisk it just to combine. And we're going to put it on a bain-marie, heat it up until it reaches 37 to 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, that's done. I'm gonna take it out of the heat. I'm putting my milk and my butter on top of this tin to let it melt. We're going to whisk this until it reaches ribbon stage, and by then it will be very light and pale. we're going to bring back our meringue. We're gonna get half of it to just fold it in here. We're then going to sift in 75 grams of cake flour. We're going to fold the flour in until everything's well combined and you don't see any dry specks anymore. Once that's done, we're going to fold in the rest of the meringue. Once you don't see any streak of egg whites, we're then going to get the milk and the butter, and we're gonna get some batter and pour it in to mix. It'll just help emulsify with the rest of the batter this way. Once that's done, just pour it everywhere. And we're gonna continue folding until everything is well combined. We're now just going to pour everything on the tin. We want to have even batter all throughout, so I'm going to use a bench scraper to help me do that. We're going to tap this firmly 2 to 3 times just to get rid of the big air bubbles you don't really need. While we're relying on small air bubbles that will expand eventually in the oven, we don't really want big ones because they'll end up giving us holes. I preheated my oven at 170°C fan, but as soon as we put this in, we're just going to bake it at 160. We're going to bake this at 160 until it's golden on top, and when you touch it, it springs back. Now it's time to make our caramel. You have to be very careful at this stage. It really gets hot, so you don't want that splatting on yourself. It's very painful, so just be careful. I always use a bigger pot than I need for a caramel because once we add the double cream later, it'll just like bubble up and like volumize like crazy. So just be aware of that. Be careful if you haven't done this before, and just focus 100% on what you're doing. So I have 90 grams of sugar here, which I will heat up until we reach an amber color. So we don't want to really mix it, we just want to see it cook, and if we want, we can shake it a little bit to spread. And anything that we see on the side, we can use a pastry brush with some water to just brush it off. I'm really happy with that color. I'm turning off the heat and we're going to add a pinch of salt and 75 grams of double cream. In a bowl, I'm gonna use a strainer. And and we're going to transfer all our caramel in. We're going to cover that in cling film and just set it aside to cool a little bit. In a bowl I have my ice pack, and I have a bowl where I have 270 grams of double cream. We're going to add all the caramel that we made earlier and whisk it up until stiff peaks. Okay, so now it's time to fill our cakes. We're just going to take this out of the tin. We're going to get roughly the same size of parchment paper. Going to just turn it back like that. Peel it gently. We're now going to add all the cream on top. Before we spread it, at the edge where it's going to be the end, I'm also going to just cut at a 45-degree angle. It'll just help us close the cake later. With the help of an offset spatula, we're just going to spread it out evenly. I don't really advise having too much at the end because that's where we're going to close it. So just apply a thin layer towards the end. We're going to refrigerate this for at least 2 hours before we put the glaze on. Now we're going to make our caramel glaze for this cake. In a bowl I have 6 grams of gelatin leaves, and I'm going to add cold water and set it aside to bloom. On this pan I have 120 grams of caster sugar, 30 grams of glucose, and we will heat that until it caramelizes. I also have 240 grams of double cream on the side, which we will add to the caramel after, and a pinch of salt. So that's it for today. Let me know what you think on the comments below. If there are other recipes that you want me to make, let me know and I'll try to make it. I hope to see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye!